Welcome to another edition of the Red Zone podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Coin and we continue with CFL Tiers after week 4 or the first quarter of the season. Let's see where I have every single team after this first quarter, starting at the bottom of the tiers. Early must win. Yes, we got the Edmonton Elks once again, but on a better note than maybe last week or after week 2, because they were in this game against Winnipeg. It was 23-23 going into the fourth quarter. I just think they ran out of gas there on offense. Winnipeg was able to go down with their experience, get touchdowns, and really just put the game away, running the football late in the game, wasting time like they always do when they are up in the fourth quarter. And Edmonton kind of just ran out of gas on offense and on defense. It was a good sign, though, that they were able to really keep the game close against Winnipeg until about midway through that fourth quarter. But now you need to start getting some wins here because you can't start 0-7 or 0-8. You got to get a win here. And this is a really good spot to get a win, is against Ottawa. You're at home, so in Edmonton, and I don't know if Ottawa is going to be with or without Drew Brown for this game. So you really got to get a win here. This is an early must win for the Elks. I don't know how many must wins you get this early, but I think this is one of them, and it's going to be for the Elks. So we'll see if they can capitalize on this opportunity at home against Ottawa. Moving on to the next tier, we have the BC Lions and the Ottawa Redblacks, and their tier name is when is our bye week? Yeah, both of these teams are asking that question right now because they're struggling with their backup quarterbacks, and their starting quarterbacks are still injured, and a lot of other players. So, injuries have not been kind to both of these teams. Nathan Rourke may return this weekend, but it's in Montreal, so they have to fly across the country. And then Ottawa, they also have to fly across the country to Edmonton. So that's not ideal for two teams that are kind of struggling at the moment and need a boost. For BC, they have to play Montreal. And then for Ottawa, yeah, you play Edmonton, who doesn't have a win yet, but you're also flying to Edmonton. So that's going to be really, really tough. So we'll see who can try to fight it and get some wins here early in the year before it's too late and they fall too much behind the 8 ball. We'll see. The next tier, we have the Toronto Argonauts and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and I put oh hey there like a true Canadian. But they meet this weekend in, I forget where. Let me just check. It's in Toronto, so a rivalry now goes to Toronto, and both of these teams trying to build off a week for victory. Two very impressive victories at that. The Argos, Ryan Dinwiddie's post-game comments after week 3, it worked because they were way better in week 4 against the Red Black. Special teams coming up huge. I forget his name. Derek Sluka had a huge game. 2 touchdowns, 100+ yard touchdowns in this game. What a game. What a game. And then the Tiger Cats had a shocking win over the Montreal Alouettes. Yeah, without Davis Alexander, but still they were able to move the ball against that defense, get touchdowns, and they won running away with it, which was really surprising. Even getting some turnovers, but they win this game 35-17. So I was really impressed. So both of these teams trying to build off those wins, and we'll just see who can really maybe move up the tiers quite quickly. And I think for second in the East Division, that's up for grabs. So we'll see who can, get that second place spot in the East. Then we have the Calgary Stampeders in their own tier. And I said the Stampede begins. And yeah, you got the Stampede Bowl on Thursday against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who are 3-0. Not going to be easy. Brady Oliveira is back in the lineup, so that just made things tougher. And then for the Calgary Stampeders, I mean, linebacker, been going down. You sign Adam Bighill, which is a really good signing, but he will not play this week. And then they signed Kyle Wilson, I think, from Hamilton. He will be starting in this game. So we'll see what can happen. A trophy is on the line. Very, very dramatic. But kudos to the Stampeders organization for putting this on. Hopefully, they can get a good crowd, unlike a few weeks ago against Ottawa, where they didn't have many people at all. The attendance numbers were really generous, let's just say that. But they're playing against Winnipeg. Let's hope they can get a win. And then their schedule is also really, really tough. After this, they play Saskatchewan in Saskatchewan, Winnipeg in Winnipeg, the Montreal Alouettes. Like, they have a very, very tough schedule. So take this a week at a time and try to pick up maybe a victory or two in this really tough 3-game stretch. Next here we have the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and it's simple: undefeated. Both, playing really good football right now. Have won a game with their backup quarterback, with Jake Maier for Saskatchewan, and then Chris Streveler for Winnipeg. Chris Streveler put up more yardage and more touchdown passes because Jake Maier didn't have to do much this past week against BC. AJ Ouellette is starting to really catch fire in the run game. So that's great to see. And yeah, these may be the two best teams in the CFL, but I'm still going to give that title to the Montreal Alouettes. And look, you could easily say one of Saskatchewan or Winnipeg, or maybe even both teams, should be above Montreal. But I'm just going to keep Montreal right where they are at the top of the tiers. Davis Alexander, he was injured. I think that is a factor. Also, they kind of went away from the run. I don't know why, but the run game doesn't seem to be there anymore for Montreal like it was back in week one. Um, but I'm still going to give them kind of the benefit of the doubt. If they do lose another game, then I'll drop them. But for now, they remain at the top of the tiers. Now let's get to our week 5 predictions. And we got a 4-game slate once again, with a game on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Starting with Thursday night football, we got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers going to Calgary to face the Stampeders in the Stampede Bowl. Calgary, you got to win this one. I mean, the Stampede, I mean, this is your game right here. You hype this game so much, you have to get the win here. Winnipeg, it's not going to be easy. I mean, Winnipeg, they are coming off a game where Zach Collaros was awesome, and their defense is still really, really good. Brady Oliveira returns to the lineup. That running game also going to be good. So Winnipeg should get the victory here. But I'm not picking them. I'm going with the Calgary Stampeders to get the victory in the Stampede Bowl. Look, it's going to be really, 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 really tough. You're going to have to stop the run. You're going to have to, try to slow down Zach Collaros and how he's been playing. But this is your game. I mean, you can't lose. There's a trophy on the line. And Henoch Mwamba on the CFL and TSN panel is going to be racing the world's fastest cow. So Calgary, this would be a great opportunity for them to, build off of this promotion by getting a victory in this game. So I'm going to roll with the Stampeders. Next, we got Friday night football with the Tiger Cats facing the Argonauts in Toronto. I like the Tiger Cats to win this game. I mean, with how their offense played last game and how they were not forcing anything, Bo Levi Mitchell, just taking what the defense is giving him and not trying to force the ball to Kenny Lawler all the time. It worked. It really, really worked. And I think it will translate to this game. So give me the Tiger Cats to win and make it two straight victories. Now let's get to Saturday's matchup. We have the BC Lions facing the Montreal Alouettes. And I said it, for BC, this is going to be really tough. You're going across the country, which is never easy. Even if Nathan Rourke is starting, it's still going to be tough because he hasn't played in a couple of weeks. All the reasons why I'm going with the Montreal Alouettes to get the victory. If Davis Alexander is back, I don't see why that offense is going to slow down. I did hear that they have signed Alexander Hollins, I think yesterday. I don't know if he'll play. I don't think so. But anyway, I do like the Alouettes to win this game. I think they're going to have a real big response after the loss last week and improve to what? 4-1 on the season. And then finally, the Sunday game, we have the Red Blacks and the Elks. Red Blacks, same thing, without their quarterback, possibly. I don't know if Drew Brown will be back, but even if he is, it's across the country. It's in Edmonton. I know Edmonton is winless, but they really, I think they can build off of what they did last week against Winnipeg in Winnipeg. Too really impressive. So give me Edmonton to get their first win of the year. I think they are going to play this game like it is a must win. They really, really need this game. They cannot fall behind, especially in the West Division. I think if they can build off of last week, Trey Ford and them, they can win this game. And then their defense as well, I thought was pretty solid against Winnipeg. So give me the Elks on Sunday. We'll go backwards here. The Elks on Sunday, the Alouettes on Saturday, the Tiger Cats on Friday, and then Stampeders gain the victory tomorrow in the Stampede Bowl. But I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Red Zone podcast, CFL Tiers, after the first quarter of the season. Let me know your thoughts, and we will be back next week for the Stamps breakdown. They had a bye this week. That's why I didn't do anything for them. But next week, we'll have that breakdown for you. And as always, the CFL Tiers. So have a great day, and we will see you on the next podcast. Peace.